play the intro music first before the sound effect because why not, right? Why not VLC Media? Why not? Who cares? Let me guess.
Oh, make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here we are.
Hey, Jared.
What?
It'd be really great if this podcast could start on time. I'd appreciate if you'd work on that.
I'm gonna fucking stab you in the throat so hard right now. I'm going to find the bluntest object I can find and stab you in the throat.
Oh, God.
Poor Jared.
I don't want to do this anymore, like at all. Like at all. We just you and your time dilation are all fucked up. I can't tell if you're genuinely pissed off or not. And here I am, halfway through recording, going, "Yeah, I should probably stop the recording because David sounds legitimately fucking pissed off." And no, he's just gaslighting me and fucking with me the whole time. All right, no, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your couch. Get off my show.
Oh.
I just want to wake up and not hate this podcast for once in my life.
Jared, if you didn't want me here, all you had to do was say it, man. You didn't have to go through all these hoops.
You know what, David? Check your text messages. I'll fire you just like I fired Daniel.
Oh, hell yeah. And then invite me back on the podcast like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I did talk to him. I was like, hey, man, yeah, like a lot of people just don't like you. Apparently, they didn't like the way that he was doing. The numbers like tanked in half after he joined, after that first episode. I was like, yeah, man, like I want this podcast to die. I want it to die organically. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't want to kill it. You want it to die of old age.
Yeah, just like, all right, you're dead now. That's fair. Yeah.
So wait, in this analogy, does that make us a terminal illness?
Yeah.
Anyways,
you're like time, slow and painful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I did have a sound. I wanted to have a sound effect for this. But I wait. Is this one that why the fuck does it do this? I have VLC Media Player. It's showing me a playlist instead of just playing the fucking songs or whatever. It's really dumb. But yeah. Here we go. Well, Jake, because I know apparently listening to your own voice is a pain in the ass.
Nope, not today, Satan. Here we go again.
Well, it is time for the complaint department, where Jake has been catching up on all the episodes if nobody's listening, and apparently he's got a couple of notes that he wants to share with us. So Jake, what have you found? What episode? Let's start off with this. What episode did you start with? What episode did you finish with? And what are your complaints?
Well, I mean, I started with episode 1 as far as, trying to listen to all of it. Before that, I listened to like a couple episodes in the 80s. I listened to a bunch in the hundreds. But currently, starting from 1, I listened to 78 yesterday. So I'm on 79.
Okay.
And I have a lot of notes.
Okay.
Not all of them are complaints.
Okay. What?
Some of them are just weird shit I want to talk about.
Okay.
There's a few genuine compliments in there, but
all right. What? Let's start. Where are your notes starting? What's the first thing you wrote down?
My first note is just Jared takes a shower in his lawn chair and calls it man bath.
Yeah.
You even asked in the episode if that was weird.
Yeah.
And it's weird, man.
Why is it weird, dude? It's a fucking ghetto. It's a ghetto man bath.
Just sit in the bath.
I want to.
Yeah, you want to
I
what?
don't want to monopolize.
What?
I want to know why you think man bath is somehow different. Also, too, I want to know why it's bath and not shower, because
Well,
it
because he's
sounds
sitting
like
down.
we're describing a camping shower
Yeah.
for lazy people.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's a shower, first of all.
kind of, sort of. The reason why I do that is because I don't have a stopper, right? When I started renting, I just never bought a stopper for my drain, right? And so I can't technically take a bath at my place, and I've just never bought a stopper because my tub was made in like the 1960s. I could literally flip it over and use it as a fallout shelter if need be. It is just a big steel tube of green, and yeah. So I used my lawn chair to pretend like I'm taking a bath and just sitting down and relaxing.
That's what lawn chairs are for.
Yeah, but in the shower.
That's how old people shower, Jared.
I got old people tendencies, man.
Also, are you doing this in your front yard? Like,
No, not exclusively.
Oh, wait. What do you mean not exclusively? That means sometimes you are, Jared.
I've been known to sit outside in my lawn chair and just like my shorts just when it's raining heavily, just in the front yard, like it's no big deal. And it's just like, oh, this is fun.
wait,
Okay.
is
Okay.
Jared a never nude?
A never nude? What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, dude! I
someone
walk
who's
around
never
my
completely naked.
house nude all the time. Like I'm sure my neighbors on both sides have seen me naked
So
multiple times.
So to clarify, you are calling it a man bath,
Yeah.
but it has no nudity and no bathing involved.
Oh no, like I do shower, I do clean myself, I do everything. It's just when I sit outside in the rain in my shorts, that's in my shorts. I don't just get naked in the trailer park.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's a good call.
Yeah.
It's a trailer park.
I mean, like
I've seen worse.
if I knew we were all above the age of 18 in the trailer park in my part, I probably would go naked, but no. It's yeah. I don't want to get arrested.
I'm glad you don't want to flash the kids.
Yeah.
But
Jesus.
fair. But also you potentially can get arrested for doing that with adults too. Still a decent exposure.
Yeah. Okay.
Bad news for you, Jared.
Oh,
Well,
sorry, didn't mean to.
There was that Florida woman who did get arrested for masturbating on the beach, actually, not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds like Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
The body cam footage was fucking hilarious. The guy's like, "Yeah, were you down on that side of the beach? What were you doing down there?" She's like, "Nothing." He was like, "Yeah, you were well," and then the lady cop was like, "You were masturbating on the beach, is what we were told. You can't be doing that in public."
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like how the male cop was just like trying not to just say it, and the lady cop was just like, "Here you go. That's what you
That
doing."
just means he's a
Yeah.
child, because you cannot survive in this field without being able to address uncomfortable things.
Yeah. What's next on the docket, Jake?
Next up is a complaint, and that's Jared hates Final Fantasy, so fuck you, Jared, is what
Yeah,
my note
fuck you,
says.
Jared.
Okay, I'll take that.
Why do you hate Final Fantasy?
I don't.
Which ones have you tried to play?
I've never played any of them.
What the?
I've never
Then why
played
do
any.
you hate Final Fantasy?
The same reason why I'm never gonna play Baldur's Gate. I don't find the game intriguing. I don't like it. Like it. Stand by. I know
I'm
it's.
listening.
I don't like the combat style. And then the movement system in Baldur's Gate where it's just like, oh, like blah blah. I don't like that turn based. It just doesn't trip my trigger.
So then play 16.
Play 16.
Yeah, 16's not turn-based.
Okay.
It's an action RPG.
Where I actually swing around and attack and kill shit, and I can do like, is it kind of like Diablo where I run around and swing at stuff? No.
No. It's way more action than even Diablo. It's
Yeah.
like very Devil May Cry-esque as far as the combat goes. So
Okay.
I generally think like if you want to like you might actually like that one.
Yeah, that's why I suggested 16 because you get different like fighting styles and stuff, and so like as you evolve and go through the through the story, you actually get even more like ways that you can fight, and you're not really hamstrung in any one thing.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down in my notes. Final Fantasy 16.
And it's also less convoluted Final Fantasy nonsense than most Final Fantasies.
True.
It's a lot more like kind of Game of Thronesy as far as its story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never watched.
It would definitely be a good one for you to start with.
Never watched Game of Thrones, but okay.
Fair enough.
I think I saw or I heard about the gratuitous massive sex scenes where it was just like, because I'm not a big horror fan where it's like it's just gore to be gore. I'm not a fan of that. I think it's just dumb, and that's kind of what it felt like with a couple of the scenes that I had watched or heard of, where it was just it's sex to be sex, and they're just talking ridiculous nudity to be lewd, and it was like I'm not in it for that. That's dumb. So.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, your reaction
it is excessive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what
not wrong.
I was trying to think. I was like, there's a lot of scenes in the books that happen in whorehouses. When I had to think about the show, there's a lot of scenes in the show that happen in whorehouses. So.
Yeah, there's less sex than in the books by a lot.
Yeah.
But okay, moving on to my next note. And again, I have a lot of these.
Oh my god. Okay.
This is just a line that you said that made me laugh very hard. I think it's the funniest thing you said. And it's vibrators are like store brand soda. When you were giving advice on sex toys, that's how you described it. And it killed me.
Vibrators are like store brand soda.
What does that mean? Because I'd love to know.
I don't know, dude. It's probably like 150 episodes ago, man. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably around there.
All right.
It's describing, vibrators as, not a replacement for real sex. It's not as good, but
like for you or for her? Or...
specifically, it was in the advice segment. It was like a guy who was worried that his girlfriend bought a vibrator because he was worried she was going to replace him.
Well, only if you suck.
Well, actually, sucking might help.
Jesus. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I remember that question. It was like some super vanilla-y bullshit where the guy was like, "Oh my god, I'm so worried she's gonna, replace me with all these toys," and I like the toys that she had bought were just like the vanilla blend. It's like, yeah, congratulations, every married couple is using one of these, or every married couple has a couple of these toys. Like, congratulations, man. Like, you've touched on now the new vanilla. Like, good job, bud.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it was genuinely good advice, but that particular phrase just absolutely killed me. And especially because it didn't just stop there. You had a full 10-minute tirade about comparing different sex toys to different versions of Mountain Dew. It was this whole drawn out metaphor you went into. It was great.
I do want to steal that and just start comparing things to store brand soda.
Hey man, I can get you got so episodes 100 and below. Like it's just me getting my feet wet like the whole time. I'm just fucking. I don't know, man. Like that was the fucking Wild West. All right, this was the gold rush way back in the 1800s. There's no sheriffs in town, and I'm just going, baby. It's just all right, whatever works. So, just I apologize for everything you had to go through, Jake. I
No, like it's okay. Those early episodes were rough, and whenever there's a long stretch of just you episodes, it starts to feel like I'm going insane. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the podcast, Jared. Like genuinely.
yeah, there's a reason why I think like episode 70-ish around there, I get a ton of guests, and there's a long stretch where it's me and another guest, and dude, it was just so much fun. And then I had another stretch where it was just me talking into a microphone, and now I'm trying to get better with you guys, and you're definitely helping. So I promise, David, I will ask for your advice on the questions moving forward. I have that in my specific notes for the questions I would like to ask. Make sure David answers. So just FYI, you will get a chance, maybe. We'll see. I don't know how I feel.
Yeah. Look, after how this podcast started, you should cut him out of all of them.
Yeah, I should.
Wow.
Oh,
fuck
look,
you too.
recording error.
Wait, really?
No. Okay.
Damn it.
I did you reach the shortest episode I had, with the 15-minute sad one?
Yeah. That was like around 50 or so.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
a while ago for me.
That was a sad panda moment. I apologize about that. Oh shit, I was gonna ask you a question. I wanted to get David's opinion on this because I feel like so David, the episodes that Jake was in, do you think he should have to listen to them because he was there for the live recording and technically already experienced it?
That's not what the thing is, though.
The thing is,
It has nothing to do with the experience. He's already experienced Groundhog's Day, but he's got to do that motherfucking shit every February for the rest of his life.
so this
Yeah.
is it's just pure torment then is what it was.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
why Kyle recommended it.
Correct.
It was as a fuck you, Jake.
Yeah.
Like it.
Did you
Yeah.
do something to make him mad that week or something?
Probably.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
I mean, Kyle still has a grudge against Jake that he hasn't like divulged or told anyone what it is.
Yeah, that he refuses to tell me what it is. I know that it comes from playing Magic the Gathering because it was before he even moved in with us, when he was just a guy we played Magic with. Like, I played Magic one week, I showed up the next week, Kyle looked at me and went, "Fuck you," and I went, "What?" And he said, "You know what you did last week," and I went, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Well, I'm still holding a grudge, and now he just never stopped bringing it up. Just like every 4 or 5 months, Kyle will just like look at me and he'll be like, "Still holding that grudge." Okay.
Wait, so Kyle's not related to you guys?
No.
I thought he was.
No. Huh. No,
Oh.
Jake is related to me.
Well,
That's it.
Jake is your cousin, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I knew Jake was your cousin, but I always thought Kyle was like a first or second cousin or something like that. He's just a dude. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah,
a
he's
dude,
he's just a stray that followed us home.
and
for
he's not the
Magic.
first.
You're doing the Lord's work, Kyle. Or David, whatever. Dude, my brain just fucking blipped there, all right? Sorry. Continue. Please continue, Jake.
Okay, my next note is, why does Jared hate child actors? Because you brought up that you hate child actors, but you didn't really give a reason. You just kind of went, I hate child actors, and then like shit on a couple of them, and then moved on.
I probably saw a movie or two with a kid actor in it, and they just weren't good. I was like, they're shit. It's probably just what happened.
Yeah, well, you were talking about WandaVision and the kids in that, calling them shitty child actors.
Oh, because they fucking were.
No, they weren't.
Yeah,
They were fine.
They were. They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad.
What are you talking about?
All right, kids, you gotta sound super excited. And they're like, "Mommy," like, cool guys. Like you did. It fit like it felt forced, right? It felt really like it didn't. Because you know how like some actors can just cry on command, right? And you're like, oh shit, like Tony's crying over there, right? It feels real. Yeah, it felt like they were like, all right, let's put a ton of eye drops in these kids and then make them cry. That's how it felt, right? It just felt too forced and too fake with the kids.
Okay. I didn't think of them as like especially good or bad. I thought of them as like fine child actors. You also you like went on to like say that you hate child actors in general and wish that they would just be replaced by adult actors using CGI. Which is why I noted it down. It's not just like I didn't like these two kids. It was like get all kid actors out of everything. Which is wild to me.
I'm not sure why I said the second part.
Okay. That's the part that I was interested in. I was like, where does this like deep hatred for child actors come from?
Well, dude,
What you don't know is he went out to LA and gave it a shot, and they kept turning him down.
He wanted to be like the next Macaulay Culkin.
I wasn't.
They were
Yeah,
like, no, Jared, you don't got it.
no.
Michael Jackson didn't take him home.
Fucking Harvey Weinstein was not a. He wouldn't take me to his trailer. Just all the things.
Jesus.
I was unnecessarily upset about that for some reason. I like typically like when I to preface this, a lot of these episodes when it's just me, Jake, I've done it probably like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, right? Like it's just me going, I should probably record something. And then I do. And then like I gotta remind myself, it's like, hey, you gotta be like an hour and a half hour. And so I just find a way to extend whatever I'm talking about. And it's just kind of like when you open the floodgates on an intrusive thought. And like, yeah, let's see where this goes. And then you do. And then you're like, oh, it's been an hour and a half. Let's call it an episode, right? That's kind of how my thought processes go sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll try not to hold you too accountable for the things you say then.
If it's like a sound thought and you're like, oh, okay, this is the start of a thought, and then it devolves and goes deeper, that moment where you're like, oh, this is the turning point, this is where shit gets a little weird, that's the intrusive thought floodgates just opening and me just going on a tangent.
Okay, that
yeah,
that tracks. That makes a lot of sense.
God.
What, David? You've never done that?
No.
Look, I could never do what you do with the solo episodes. It's like genuinely don't know how you do it. That's a skill I do not have.
I have a lot of free time.
It's not about time.
A solo podcast, but I couldn't just talk. Like I would have my points and I would do the thing and then we're done. There wouldn't be intrusive thoughts.
Well, I know that like I want to hit like an hour and a half. Like that's my goal, right? And when I have the points and the shit I want to talk to, usually it's like 20-30 minutes, right? Like just 20-30 minutes. And I got to like yeah, my answers are probably going to be like 20-30 minutes as well too, but I got to fill that other half hour or so. And so I just talk. And just shit comes out of my mouth, and before you know it, it's like, oh, it's an hour and a half in. I need to start answering questions, right?
You don't have to be so rigid with time, my man.
I'm not rigid. It's not rigid with time. It's just
you're such an asshole, David.
Oh, does he get on you for that, Jake?
No,
I'm
he'd say that because of the David being late thing.
Oh.
I was also quoting something, so it's a reference while also fucking with you.
It's fair.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too, bud.
Okay, next note. This is a very particular one.
Okay.
How much? Okay, you do a thing specifically with titles, and I want to know if it's a you thing or a Wisconsin thing.
Yeah.
And that's when there's a 2-word title. You stress the start. You like emphasize the start of both words. So like instead of saying Borderlands, you say Borderlands. And instead of Among Us, you say Among Us. Is that just a Jared thing, or is that a Wisconsin thing?
I'm gonna go with probably just a me thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like with Borderlands, it just feels weird to the one word, right? Borderlands. Borderlands. I don't know. It's just the way I pronounce shit. Right? Among Us.
Yeah, I think it is just a him thing.
Okay. That's fantastic. That's what I was hoping the answer was. But because I was like, it really amuses me how he pronounces these, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's just a Wisconsin thing, though. Maybe.
No,
maybe it's not Jared being weird.
That's how I say the video game Borderlands.
Okay, noted. Then I have 3 more.
Okay.
This is another thing that I just really enjoyed, and that was you discovering the Marvel power grids and just spending like a half an hour of an episode, like just being like, "Oh, how do these stats compare to this other person's stats?" And they going, "Really? They're only a 3 strength, a 3? Oh, I don't know about that," because that's like that. I remember that being like one of the earliest things I did on the internet. Because like it was a thing, because it comes from like the Marvel handbooks, which were like comics they would put out that just had like information.
Okay.
And like I remember like as like an 8-year-old, like realizing that like, oh, I don't have to buy all of these like Marvel handbooks because all the power grids are just on the internet. And at that point, they were like scanned on to like pages.
Nice.
I think I went on to like a NeoCities where someone had just scanned them. But I remember just spending like so much time just like looking at those power grids and doing exactly what you did. So see, like listening to you discover it in real time was delightful.
That website that I was on looked very, very early 90s-ish, and it was a trip. It was
It was
definitely
probably
a
the
trip.
same one, and I bet they didn't ever update it.
Like the background
no,
was like
I-
for your comic books.
Maybe then, maybe. But I know they're on like the wikis and stuff now too. They're really easy to find now. Oh, but yeah, that was like one of my favorite moments listening to the podcast was just like listening to you discover it and then immediately just like completely get sidetracked and just be like looking at a bunch of different characters.
I know I had a point for what I was talking about, and I just got completely distracted by it.
Fair, which is exactly what I would have done. And
Good to know.
my next note, this, this is kind of a complaint, but also I think it's very funny.
Okay.
So, who is the martial arts guy in Tekken who's like kind of like based on Bruce Lee, Jared? What's his name?
The guy in Tekken who's based off of Bruce Lee.
Yeah, the like martial artist guy.
Oh, dude, you're fucking.
His last name is Law. What's his first name, Jared?
It's not Jude Law. That's an actor.
What? Interesting that you know that now, because every time you have brought him up. So I'm in like a stretch where you're talking about Tekken a lot, and every single time you've talked about him, you've referred to him as Jude Law. Every time.
Wait, really?
Yes, his name is Martial Law.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
yeah,
martial
martial
law.
law.
Yeah.
Name. But every single time. And Tekken has come up like every few episodes for like 20 episode stretch. You bring up that one of your favorite characters to play as. You're like, I like King. I like there's like one other character you always bring up, and then you're like, sometimes I play Jude Law.
Oh my god.
Which one of his roles?
I never claimed to be the smartest man out there. Okay.
Oh.
It's one that has run like the full circle. The first time you did it, I laughed and went, "That's funny," and then you did it like 2 or 3 more times, and I'm like, I'm genuinely getting annoyed that Jared keeps doing this, and it circled back around to being funny again.
Oh, Jared.
It's okay.
At least it wasn't Ryan Gosling.
True.
I mean,
Guy's kind of a creep.
What do you mean he's kind of a creep?
It's a whole long thing. Don't worry about it. You don't listen to our podcast.
No, I do.
It's David gets him confused with Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jake Gyllenhaal plays a creep a lot, so it's.
But not really. It's weird.
He gets their names mixed up.
Yeah, I know who both of them are and who they play and like what they're in, and I recognize them immediately and I know their faces, but I oftentimes accidentally use the wrong name. I'm like, you know, like that Jake Gyllenhaal guy in Barbie.
I don't know how you get those two mixed up, but okay, man.
I don't either, because in my brain they're not, but what comes out my mouth is always wrong, and it's only those two. It's fucking weird, because I will make the right reference. Mm-hmm. I will be talking about the right person. I will say the wrong name.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not like he like mixes like which movies they were in up. Like he has like a very clear like this guy was in these movies, this guy was in these movies. The names are just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very weird, and I love it. That my last note is actually a question, and it's which version of Dragon Ball do you prefer out of like the all the various series?
My favorite,
as a fellow big Dragon Ball fan,
I like everything up to the Boo saga. Dragon Ball was okay. It was interesting. It was different. But when Z started, and I remember where I really got interested was the Saiyan saga with Vegeta and Nappa. That's kind of when it got interesting. And then when it hit Boo, the Boo saga, and then I remember there was a ton of fillers, and I could totally tell that there were a ton of filler episodes. It just kind of started to go downhill from there. So that's my go-between. And I do, one of my favorite things to do on the side is watch Team 4 Star's version of it.
The abridged.
Yeah. Just because I feel like if Akira Toriyama would have gone full-fledged with just the stupidity that Team 4 Star went with, it would probably be a way better series.
Okay. I think we have like complete opposite taste despite liking the same thing.
Okay.
For me, like original, like OG Dragon Ball, that's like the peak. I think because it's funny. It's actually part of what annoys me about the Dragon Ball Bridge. I do enjoy, but I have issue with. I'm like, this is less funny than Dragon Ball was, though. Like the comedy version of Dragon Ball Z already exists. It's Dragon Ball, and it's better than this.
I do
which is why. Despite I understand why a lot of people don't like, but it's why I also love the Boo Saga, because it felt very Dragon Ball again.
Mm-hmm.
Up until like as the Boo Saga, when it got worse, like once it got more serious, but like when it was like a giant indestructible toddler turning people into candy and eating them, fuck yes, that's what I want Dragon Ball to be. That rules.
I do. That was like my favorite part. He's just like, "Who's gonna turn you into chocolate and eat you?" And I'm like, "All right, bud. No, you're not." Like it was just the dumbest. Yeah, he just wants to turn you into chocolate and eat you. Fuck you. Like that. Yeah. The Dragon Ball Saga was good. I do put it on par as like a very very close second because of all the stupidity that goes on to it. Like it's a young Bulma, it's a very young Krillin, and then just all the fucking Master Roshi and all his crazy stupidity adventures that they go on. The red not red rock the
Red Ribbon.
yeah, the Red Ribbon Army, like just the fact
Did
that
he
it's
just call it the Red Rocket?
I
Army?
almost called it the Red Rocket, okay? I don't fucking South Park has ruined me. Red Rocket, Sparky, Red Rocket.
Look, that's the kind of joke they would have made in Dragon Ball. There's
You're
a
not
lot
wrong,
of dick
but-
jokes in Dragon Ball.
Well, fuck. God. What are the crazy like the whole reason why I watched the Dragon Ball series was I saw a clip where Goku lifts up Bulma's T-shirt that she's wearing. It's like, huh, you don't have the thing there, and then he just pokes it and squishes it. And he's like, huh, that's weird. I was like, what? That's what Dragon Ball's all. Okay, I'll give Dragon Ball a shot. And then it did turn out to be really good. The only Dragon Ball I didn't like was GT because it technically wasn't canon.
Yeah. GT is garbage. That's
Although
how do you feel about Super?
I think they the Super Saiyan God thing was great. I do like how they revisited Broly though. The new Broly in Super, I like the way they did that as opposed to the old one. It feels the story feels a bit better than he's just pissed off at Goku because all Goku did was cry, right?
Yeah.
You know, I feel they did better. What did you like Super better or?
Oh yeah, I like Super a lot. And I will say, like, one of the weird things about Super to me is how much I love the filler episodes, because like in Z, the filler episodes for the most part were so bad.
Yeah, they were.
But in Dragon Ball Super, whenever there's like a filler arc, I'm like, fuck yeah! Like the episode where they play baseball is like one of like the funniest things I've ever seen. It's awesome. Especially just the dead Yamcha fucking meme in actual Dragon Ball.
I
just be like, yeah, Yamcha sucks, but he's the only one here who understands how baseball works.
I love that they're leaning into a ton of the tropes, right? I love that. My one question is, do you think they're going too far with the transformations? You know what I mean? Like it's
I mean,
getting ridiculous though, isn't it?
Kind of like I was talking about with you calling martial law Jude law, and it's kind of come full circle for me because like by the end of Z, I was like, I don't need more versions of Super Saiyan. Like it's kind of getting obnoxious, and then I still kind of feel that way, but with Super, it's like okay, like they're just gonna keep dialing this absurdity up. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, with like fucking what is it? What's the Ultra Instinct? That's
Yeah,
the one.
Ultra
Yeah.
Instinct.
Well, I will say, I do give Ultra Instinct credit that it's like actually a different thing. It's not just Goku gets more stronger. It like actually has like it's like about like reflexes and like essentially like shutting off his brain entirely is basically what it is, which is like at least different.
Huh.
It's not just like a mathematical like he got 100 times stronger than he was in the previous form.
Oh. Yeah, see, just recently I was scrolling through and I saw a video that I think you guys I'd love to be able to show you guys and get your opinion on then talking about this because like I am nowhere near as much of a Dragon Ball fan as either of you. I've watched way less of it. I mostly watched it with, Jake and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a fan made one out there because you mentioned Brawly, which brought it up. And basically it's done in a more like hardcore old school Japanese like anime shaded style than
It's done by an
so it's
Indian guy,
more
right?
I don't remember who's done it, but it's really like it's more realistic in the art style, in the way they draw the characters and stuff. And there's this whole fight because Broly fucking like fucks up Chi Chi and stuff, and Goku and Vegeta go all wild. It's insane. Um, but it like that. I wish that they would do like a Dragon Ball arc like in that style,
Mm-hmm.
because it would be interesting, because the writing is kind of obviously like, but
Yeah.
if you could get like the actual creator behind it and then have them do it in like that art and style where it's like a little more serious but also poking fun at the serious stuff at the same time, I would love to watch that.
I've seen the YouTube video. Actually, I had it favorited for quite a while. Like as soon as it came out, I heard about it and I watched it, and it is phenomenal because Vegeta is not the all conquering whatever. He's coming back to. He's like Kakarot, like time to come home, bud. Like that's or like he knows Broly is coming to Earth, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking stop this madman, right? And it is
Yeah,
fucking amazing.
he's more regal. He actually acts like the king of the Saiyans,
Yeah,
and that's the title that they give him. And he definitely acts more like a king who actually like gives a shit about his people. So like his pride and stuff and like all the shit that plays into his character in the others is still there, but it's in a more like realistic sort of like feudalistic sense. And then you get the transformation that they do for whatever the fuck they call what happens to Goku
oh
looks badass.
yeah, it
Which is
does.
the main reason, because like both him and Vegeta still have their tail, and instead of like transforming into giant monkeys, this like weird like creeping red energy goes all over Goku's chest and then spreads all over his body, and he like vomits out flames that then like engulf his head. It's cool as shit. The animation style on it, if it comes up on my feed again, Jake, I'll have to show it
Did
to you.
you guys want to pause X, watch it, and then come back and talk about it? Because we could do that real quick, and I can link it in the description if you want. It's like 10 minutes, Jake.
Sure.
All right. And through the power of editing, we'll be right back. And through the power of editing, we are back. I will have it timestamped, so if you want to go watch it before we have the discussion on the whole episode, link in the description below. Jake, I know that was your first time watching that. What initial thoughts? Initial thoughts.
Yeah, it was really cool. The animation style was a neat blend of like 80s style, like anime style, but with like some modern stuff. The only part that really didn't feel like it gelled with me is when they had the like arena like bouncing,
Yeah.
which is like a very modern anime thing that I don't think really fit with the style.
No.
But that was like a really cool like fan take on Dragon Ball as far as like all that stuff goes.
Yeah,
Like yeah, I bet they have like the like very minimal story they did. It doesn't like leaves a lot to be desired, but that's fine because it's a 10-minute like fan made video. I don't expect it to be an amazing story.
Right.
the story is a little lackluster. The voice acting is it's okay, but it's an established story. They're just telling in a totally different way that we all know the legend of Broly. We all know the legend of the Z Warriors, and it just I don't know. It feels like a great call out to, because remember in the opening he basically just lets Akira Toriyama know like, hey dude, this for every kid out there that's ever dreamt they could power up and become Super Saiyan or whatever, or make their hair golden, which I mean you could do with L'Oreal highlights, but that's something different. I don't know. I felt like it was a good adaptation. I liked the way that he presented them transforming. Like, especially Vegeta, like his ribs get broken. He flashes out for a second. He's like, wow, I'm the fucking princess. I'm the king of Saiyans. No, what is this nonsense? Let me get back to it.
And I do like the like making Goku more directly the like Chinese mythological monkey god as the transformation is a cool idea too.
Yeah.
It's one of those parts of Dragon Ball that like really got abandoned in Dragon Ball Z. Said, oh right, this is, you know, based on this like Chinese novel that doesn't involve aliens at all.
Wait, Dragon Ball was based on a novel?
Yeah, it's like a very, very loose adaptation of Journey West, which is like one of the first. It's like one of the 4 great Chinese novels. That's where the character of Goku comes from. That's why you'll see a lot of characters named Son Goku and different stuff. Because it's not a Dragon Ball thing, it's a Journey West thing.
Oh, a Journey West, you say? Okay.
Yeah.
How?
Right. If you want like a good like modern like American story that like it's also like very heavily, very directly about Journey West. American Born Chinese is a Disney Plus show that came out like a year or 2 ago. That's really good.
Okay.
Is it actually good? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, it's very different from the comic, but it's very good. And it kind of had to be very different from the comic because the comic is the comic has a very prominent character that's like, for the purposes of pointing out how shitty it is, like a very like stereotypical like Chinese caricature, like very like old school like 30s style, as like and it works very well in the comic, but I think would not have been received well on a Disney Plus show.
Fair.
Okay. Is the Journey West translated? Was it translated into American or?
Oh yeah, there's a million translations. It's like one of the most important like novels in history.
Mm-hmm.
I will get back to reading something other than my graphic novels.
It's
If you're not used to older writing, it's gonna be a hard read.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it probably will be a struggle because it's not just an older novel; it's a very old translated Chinese novel.
Are we talking like Old English?
No, I mean that's gonna depend on the translation you find. It's
Okay.
just storytelling has changed a lot
Okay.
in ways that are, I don't know, kind of hard to explain. It's just very different from like anything made in the last couple 100 years, even.
Well, then again, when I was a junior and we had to read, I think it was The Lady of the Lake or The Sword in the Stone, I was the only one in class to understand what the fuck they were talking about because it was written in Old English, and I had to explain it to everybody during the break so they would figure it the fuck out. So, I can probably translate it in my brain, but okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like the translation that I read, it's like pretty straightforward as far as like the language. It's well translated.
Okay.
It's just not structured the way stories, like especially like Western stories, are now.
I gotcha.
Which makes sense because it's like 500 years old almost.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see some adaptation, like one of the alleged God, we just saw it up. Fan made Dragon Ball Z Legend, a Dragon Ball Tale, the full film, by Stray Dog. It was really, really good. I don't know. I wish I would see more of that style of animation done. I mean, the action scenes are a little bit, like the characters get a little goofy, right? They get a little odd. But I would like to see a lot more animation done in that style. One of the movies that I picked for the File and Entertainment podcast, I'm pretty sure it's B. If I did change it, is like an old 1980s anime, basically where they fight like a bunch of alien creatures from space that are like bugs or some shit like that. So I don't know. I'm interested in that style. I like that style a lot better than some of the new ways that they do things, and I don't know. I prefer it. I also like the way that they transform too. It's unique, special, and different, and I'd like to see more of it. I think Dragon Ball Super could could benefit from a jump like that, where they travel to another universe where it's done like that for a couple episodes. I think that'd be kind of cool.
If you like that style, Jared, may I recommend Akira?
I have watched Akira many times, and I have thoroughly enjoyed the movie many, many times.
Fair.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
You might also like Ninja Scroll.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
That one is very different.
Like when you say very different, are we talking like odd, like Akira, or
No.
like
No.
It's very grim, very dark.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've seen Ghost in the Shell as well too, or are they leagues apart?
I mean, like, genre-wise, they're very, very different. Ninja
Okay.
Scroll's like a samurai fantasy setting. But, like, yeah, Ghost in the Shell's, like... I guess Kira's pretty dark, too, actually.
Yeah, Akira's
Yeah.
very dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not a movie you want to try to initiate intimacy after, but
No. No.
some people are weird like that, Jared. I was hanging out with one of the girls that I was friends with benefits with, and I started to like make a move on her right at the end. She's like, "You're really trying after that movie?" I was like, "Ah, why not?" I mean, there was some USB docking in there. I'd like to dock my USB. She's like, "You're an idiot." Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, Jared.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, kudos for fucking trying, right, man? I can attempt. I can attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. You crack me up, buddy.
Hey, I'm here for you guys. Let's see here. You know what? I don't know. Any other recommendations besides Ninja Scroll, the Doom and Gloom?
Dude, I don't know very much anime, man.
I gotcha. Well,
Yeah, I can't think of any other like of that era of anime that I'd recommend.
oh well. Who knows? Who cares? But you know what? Who does know and who does care? We do.
Advice.
Yeah. I got a couple of good ones actually this week. Some of them are just like regular random questions, but a couple of them come from Ask Women, as well as just Ask Reddit. But I am curious, if you guys could time travel, what would you do? Like, where would you travel to? I mean, I know a lot of a lot of people would be like, "Oh, I'd travel back to when Bitcoin first became a thing, and you could buy like thousands of Bitcoin for like $1 or something stupid like that." Like, not that. Like, if you genuinely could time travel, where would you time travel to, and why would you want to time travel there?
Well,
I mean, where do I see? It's just that there's a lot of points in history I would love to see, but all of them that come to mind, my being there doesn't go well.
Right, yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
like my favorite historical figure is Genghis Khan. I'd love to meet Genghis Khan, but that doesn't go well for me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it go well for you, Jake?
He's Genghis Khan. Like, I show up with like any modern stuff, he's gonna be like, "All right, you're taking me to where you're from because I want that stuff."
Yeah.
Because that's what Genghis Khan was all about.
Uh-huh. And suddenly we have a conquering timeline Genghis Khan.
Is that where they got Khan the Conqueror in Marvel?
Kang.
Kang.
No,
That was close.
he's yeah, he's connected to ancient Egypt, which is
True.
so convoluted and weird.
Well, see, this is where you go forward in time to where like Mass Effect is taking place, right? Where you have like the armors and everything, and you can like be protected, right? And then you travel back in time to Genghis Khan, so that way when he tries to abduct you and all that other stuff, you're 100% protected with your laser weapon or just your weapon that shaves off a small little particle. When one of his guys comes to rescue you, like pew, and you're like, oh my god, that guy just dropped over dead. And you're like, yeah, it's just gonna happen to you if you don't sit down and have this conversation with me.
Yeah, Jake. I could see you doing that totally.
I feel like I'd travel forward in time just to like find
Uh-huh.
some like super quantum computer that's like square, and that can run all like Tarkov, like it can run games like Escape and Tarkov like it's nothing, and that way I just have this massive supercomputer that never needs any like upgrades or updates or anything like that, and it just works forever and ever and ever, and it's just amazing.
What the
Maybe grab like a futuristic like VR, where I just can like connect diodes to myself and I'm in the game. I don't know, some stupid bullshit like that. Who knows?
Okay.
I mean, it's sappy and everything, so I know some people are just gonna instantly, mouth vomit, but like, I don't know. I'm too. I would have to travel. I think the first thing I do is I'd have to go forward in time and like make sure that my kids are
Aw.
okay, that I didn't like fuck it all up and end up becoming like my dad. So that'd probably be the first thing I do. And then after that, I'm totally gonna go fucking take over the stock market and set people up for life. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, see, exactly. I
I
see.
grew up poor. I don't need a lot of money. $1 million, fuck. I can set me and my entire family up.
Yeah, that Apple company. God, just oh yeah, here's $20. Let me buy 20 shares of Apple
I'm
stock.
not saying I'd run certain people over with old timey cars, but maybe.
That's dude. What's that movie about the guy who's got the time traveling cart or whatever? It's like set in like the 1800s, and then he travels so far into the future that he meets like the cave people. And no,
What?
Yeah, no, I have no idea what he's talking about.
okay, hold on.
Set in the 1800s.
Yeah,
He
it's
traveled into the future and met cavemen.
oh, it's just straight up called The Time Machine. It was made in 2002. It's what is it? It's
To be fair, he said cave people,
yeah.
not cavemen, Jake.
Uh,
I did originally also immediately go mentally to cavemen, but I
mhm.
think he's talking about like people who have reverted back to living in caves, not prehistoric cavemen.
Yeah, like not prehistoric caveman. No, the Time Machine. It's a 2002 movie. Like he creates a time machine way back in like the early 1900s, or like when cars are first being made, and it's so funny because his wife that he tries to stop from dying because she dies, and like that's his whole reason for
That
building
sounds
the time
super funny.
machine. Yeah, it's great. But it is a fantastic movie to watch. It really is. I would highly encourage you to watch it. It's got some great moments in it. So
Okay.
dude, I gotta stop listening to techno. My YouTube webpage is filled with all these weird techno things. So dumb.
Oh, Jerry.
No, when he said he like traveled forward in time to caveman, I like immediately went to like the Futurama thing of like traveling forward in time to get back in time.
Yeah.
As genuinely what I assumed it was about.
Yeah, no, he
Oh.
some massive they explain it in the movie, but I don't want to give it away. Some massive disaster fucking happens, and like
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
what is a pet name that you hate being called by your significant other, or what is a pet name that you would just hate being called in general?
I don't.
I don't like hate it in general, but I think it would be weird coming from a significant other. Honey is one that feels like an old person thing.
Okay.
Like-
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know that there's any that I hate. Like, there's only really one thing that I don't like being called, and I don't want to put that out there because then all people do is call me it.
Yeah, I
but
totally want to use it.
and it's not a pet name, so yeah, I don't really like. I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know. To me, pet names are not like I don't care what it is as long as it's like from a person that it would feel appropriate to come from. Like, for instance, okay, like even so, like, use Sweetie,
Yeah.
like, does not feel weird when I'm in the South and random people call me that
Mhm.
because I'm used to it down there. It is weird and stops me in my tracks here when somebody does it like randomly at Walmart or at work and uses that. And I'm like, the fuck? Who are you? Like, it's weird. It's no different than like, I don't care what my wife calls me because like we've been together for so long and so comfortable that wouldn't bother me. But if you suddenly were like, all right, baby, what the fuck?
I do that all the time in the Discord. What are you talking about?
It was a bad example because, yes, that one doesn't bother me. But, all right,
But-
if you were like, all right, Snookums, I'd be like, the fuck, Jared, get the fuck out of here. I have a hard time coming up with pet names because I don't use them very often.
I got you.
It's usually babe or hun. That's it.
I had a girl call me Poppy once, and I was like, "That's a hard pass right there." Nah, I'm good. That is like that is the only one that has ever weirded me out. She's like, "Hey, Poppy." I was like,
Well, see, but that's like again, if I'm talking to a Hispanic person, doesn't sound weird to me. If you have like, Rebecca, the like most Jewish name I can think of, and she's like, "I Poppy." All right, it's weird.
Wow, but when she goes, shalom, that's a great dong. Oh yeah, 100% on that.
Yeah, because it fits.
No, she was like some Latin, like hardcore Latin woman that I was talking with. She's like, "All right, Poppy." I was like, that feels wrong. Please don't.
Yeah, I don't think that would bother me, but yeah, it would be weird if my wife said that to me even. Like just cuz it's like that's not how you talk. Go away. Leave me alone. You're just trying to be weird.
This is kind of David. I think I know what your actual answer is going to be for this one. But so I want you to give your stereotypical answer, but I also want you to give another general answer. But if you were a wealthy philanthropist, what kind of causes or projects would you most want to support or get involved with? I know what your
Anything
answer.
with Yeah, I
St.
mean it's going to
Jude's.
be obviously Extra Life. Like
Yeah.
I would be getting linked in with them even more.
So
But
besides
also
Extra Life and St. Jude's and all them, what is another venture that you as a threat, if you had the kind of fuck you money that you could just give away and and help out a lot, what's another cause that you would give to?
and again, it's anything with kids. Like kids shouldn't have to suffer the way that we do. Life shouldn't suck until you're old enough to deal with it. Uh, so, yeah, like that's. I don't know. I think that's also probably the same reason why I hated bullies growing up, and I love superheroes. Is this idea of being able to, especially like people who are actually and truthfully innocent, like kids, like they're the ones who need the help. So, yeah.
That is definitely something I would give into, like, for the school lunch programs and stuff like that. Just how can I make kids lunches free? How can I make the lunches better? As well too is like the one of the women's shelters that I've randomly happened across while I was walking around my city. I was like, wow, it's tucked back here, and like these are the buildings. Like I would update a lot of that infrastructure to basically assist a lot of the folks that are in need of assistance. If I had the kind of fuck you money that I'd sometimes dream about, oh, absolutely. Just because
That's fair.
you're right. You suffer. You should never have to suffer in silence.
But keep them off the beaten path. They
Yeah.
want to be hidden like that. There's a reason for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I stumbled across. Hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just walking to go find a place to go fishing. Yeah, you should probably leave. Oh, where the fuck am I?
There's a reason. There's a reason why a lot of the ones like here locally specifically pick buildings that either like look abandoned or out of the way and stuff like that. Like people don't just accidentally wander into them, you know?
To be fair, I was on a very different side of town. And I was
That's
having a
fair.
very, very bad day of fishing. So,
Fair enough.
Well,
I'm just picturing you now, like Tom Sawyer style, just walking through town with a fishing pole over your arm, like, picnic basket in your arm.
yeah, no, I had a backpack on with all my fishing gear, and I was just kind of walking down the river, just throwing down, and I kind of happened upon this group of buildings. Was like, you know what? I'll just try right here. And then one of the security guards came out and was like, "Hey man, what are you doing? Fishing? What does it look like? Why are you fishing here? I'm having a real bad day, and I'd like to catch something, my man." He's like, "You should probably leave." I was like, "Why? Where am I?" It's like, I'm on the river, man. It's not a big deal. And then he told me, I was like, "Oh, I will leave immediately, sir. You have a good day."
Fair enough.
Oh, Jared.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never been back over in that part of town. I'll tell you what, though.
Fair. It's bad fishing. Why would you go there?
Yeah, no, you just couldn't catch shit.
Oh, my lord.
Oh.
Jake, if you had that kind of fuck you money, what's something you would get involved with?
I think also just like free housing. I think is a big thing. Like it solves like not just like direct homelessness, but like so many problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that like when you look into like the reality of like how many houses there are versus how many people need homes, it kind of drives you a little crazy, or at least it does me. Where it's like there's the housing is there, like there are empty houses people could be living in.
It's not for those gross poor people, though, Jake.
Yeah,
Ah.
good God, man. No,
Yeah.
I don't pay more than I would pay. I don't pay more in rent than what I would pay in a mortgage. Of course, I can't afford a home. What the hell's wrong with you?
You know, that's as far as like the, you know, society improving thing. That's where my mind immediately goes. Then the other things are just you know, being able to like pay artists for stuff would be cool.
Yeah. Like whoever made that flag behind you, they deserve a big old fat raise.
Yeah, and I like, but when I say like artists, I mean like all the shit that people like enjoy making. I like to support, like, you know, like podcasts, like the visual arts, like writing, like all that shit is something I wish I could, you know, dump money into.
That's always one of the fun little dreams that I have, is because I know David famously introduced me to Girl Thulu, right? I love her content. I love what she does. And when I got to talking with her in one of the previous podcasts, Jake, which you'll come across, like
I've already listened to that one, actually.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay. Like I genuinely wanted to start out. Like that's one of the reasons why. Like if I ever can't sleep at night and I have my little daydream of all the fucking crazy things I do with 3 wishes, is like that fuck you money. Feathers and Friends Incorporated hire on a bunch of podcasters, a bunch of content creators that are doing great things. Like her community, when I spent like a month sitting in her streams, watching her streams, getting to know her as a person, and like she interacted with everybody there. She's a phenomenal content creator, and people like that, like just taking them and building them up, because putting that goodness back into the world would be that would be an achievement that just that'd be great to give people like her an advancement, just to go do what you do best and make this world a better place, right? Get involved with Extra Life, where it's like, oh, you guys donated $500,000. Haha, guess what? I'm matching your donation because you guys were cool enough to do that. And then you're just giving so much extra back into the world, and fucking yeah, make the world a better place, one small step at a time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You guys want to talk about something weird now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the most shocking thing you've learned about a significant other while being with them? That is podcast appropriate, David.
I was gonna say, dude, I've been with my wife for 19 years, dude. Like, there's nothing left to learn, buddy.
Well, like,
You just get to sit back and enjoy finally, you know?
yeah. I mean, I can start if you want, that I found really weird. One of
Wait,
my
what
ex-
question again, real quick? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's right. What is the most shocking thing you've learned about your significant other since being with them? Like my ex Sarah showered naked. Not showered naked. God, that's fucking.
He is a
never dude. Confirmed. We got him.
Can you believe that bitch? She showered naked, you guys. Fucking weird. What, you guys don't just cut a hole in your pants and then fuck like that? Come on now. What are you guys, prudes? No, like one time I came over and like I heard her showering. I was like, I'm gonna go surprise her. I opened the door, it's just pitch black. I'm like, Sarah, what are you doing? She's like, I'm showering. I was like, yeah, but it's pitch black in here. She's like, yeah, don't you shower in the dark? I was like, why would I do that? That's weird. And she's like, yeah, no, it's normal. Everybody showers in the pitch black. I was like, no, the fuck they don't. I don't know anybody that showers in the dark.
I mean, I don't personally know anyone who does, but I do know one weird guy in Canada who takes baths in the dark. So
Yeah, that's
there's at
right
least
where
one
I
other
would
out
think.
there.
And he'll fall asleep in the bathtub too, though.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem safe.
Yeah, that
Bro. Bro's just asking for hypothermia. Jesus.
Oh, it's a whole problem.
Okay.
Yeah, how that guy is alive is sometimes a mystery. Do you have an answer, David? Because this is what I'm really struggling with.
Same, because nothing's really like, I don't know. Nothing bothers me. Nothing's weird. I mean, I don't know. Again, I've been with my wife for so long that none of it's weird. That's just how life is. I'm sure lots of other people might look at things and be like, that's weird, but I don't know. And then, like, trying to think. I mean, I don't really. I mean, that doesn't count. Fuck.
That doesn't count.
No.
What?
I really want to know what
Yeah.
that is now.
No,
I can beep it. I've
I
already
was
got to do
thinking
some
about-
editing to begin with.
No, I was thinking about like, okay, well, I can't think of anything involving my wife. So I was thinking about like the other girls that I dated briefly before my wife. And then that led me down the trail of, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I found out that they all had mental illnesses and ended up being, hospitalized for those after dating me.
No. Do you think that's just you having a type? Or do you think you're the cause?
Yeah, I was to say, were you the reason for the hospitalization, David?
Little column A, little column B. Listen,
So the weird thing about David's wife is he hasn't put her in a mental institution just yet. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
oddity, right?
no, she belongs there, but that's why she gets along with me. No,
It's weird how they all ended up in the same hospital, man.
dude, legitimately, like that's a that's a whole thing. And they were different hospitals, all right? One ended up in California somehow. But she had problems way before me.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, never mind. That's way too heavy a topic for this. Legitimately, like I'm struggling hard with this. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, the only like big like surprise that I've had is like very heavy and not my story to tell. So
Right?
I won't.
Fair. No, that's okay. That's okay. It like to be fair with you guys, like I read these questions like sometimes a week in advance or like 24 hours in advance. I'm like, ooh, I know, yeah. So no worries.
Oh no, you're fine. It's a good question. I've just only been in like 3 actual relationships.
Well, maybe this might be a better one for you guys. If you could cry money, what would you do to make sure that you get tons of money fast? If you could cry money, what would you do to get lots of money fast?
Jared, I can cry on command, and also I just watch like sad videos of either like service members coming home to their pets because for whatever reason those always are
So
like
sad.
real tearjerkers, or anything bad happening to kids, like videos of like people's kids in hospitals and like them needing stuff. Although that would be very counterproductive because then I'd cry and then I'd give them the money and then I would cry some more and then give them the money. It would not do well for my emotional status.
Yeah, this arrangement seems like hell. But the 2 like very specific examples that immediately come to mind, just things that always make me cry. One, there's a band called The Antlers, and that they have an album Hospice that's just like you remember like the sad panda stuff we're talking about, like Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah.
The Antlers is a band that like their whole deal is they just take sad stuff and like dial it up to 11. It's a concept album about a woman dying of bone cancer, and the guy who's like her nurse like falls in love with her, and they have this romance, but it's also a mutually abusive relationship. And like at one point she gets pregnant and they have an abortion, and then she dies, and then he has to like deal with his like conflicting feelings of being sad about the woman he loves dying, but also he like kind of feels happy that this like abusive woman he was with is dead as well. It's just like it starts with like a sad concept and then just keeps going. And like they another example, they have a song called "Putting the Dog to Sleep," which is a song about a relationship ending, and the analogy is putting a dog to sleep because it's not sad enough to be a breakup song. It also has to make you think about your dead pets. Like that's their whole deal.
Good fucking God.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Okay. Dude,
so there's that, and then there's also the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Body, which will make me cry 100% of the time.
Any military movie, I've noticed even like some of the newer movies too, where there's like a sappy love part. I do that giggle hurt that I do when I try to cry. So I don't like if they were like, yeah, if you do that weird laugh that you do when you're feeling emotional, like, yeah, we'll give you money for that. I try to live in that moment a little bit more, but like with David, any military thing, like military movies where you're like, that shouldn't be sad to you, and it is sad. Yeah, I'd watch military movies on repeat.
Okay.
By the way, I had Sufjan Stevens queued up yesterday on a drive home, and I started to get a little teary eyed. Started to get a little cried. I was listening to my sad song. I was in a sad panda mood. I turned on Sufjan Stevens, like, here we go. Here's the tear ducts. Let's go ahead and have a good cry on the drive home. Let's do it, baby. And I did, and it felt great. I feel better.
Yeah. There's a place for that kind of thing, but if I was economically incentivized to just live in that, that would be a
Right?
nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to be sad for a job.
What? Why not? Yeah. Well, I had some other ones, but I kind of want to save them for future dates because, I don't know. Like I found a lot of questions on Reddit that were like, "What would you do for this?" or like, "What would you do for that?" It wasn't really advice because a lot of the advice, like one of the advice questions that this guy had was, like this was the kind of advice that people were looking for this week. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Oh, the guy deleted it. That's hilarious. The guy was like, yeah, like 5 months ago, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. I ended up sleeping with his sister, and I tried the pull-up method, but my pull-up method game isn't strong. Like what do I do now? Like, for advice. And it was like, what do you mean? What do you do now? Like, you wait to see if she's pregnant, and then you do the right thing. You either take care of the kid or you disappear like a piece of shit. Like, those were the dumb questions.
Fair. Build a time machine and go kick your own ass.
Build a time machine and kick your own ass.
Don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah. Solved. Boom.
Any final words, gentlemen?
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Don't be silly. Wrap your willy. I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know either. David was also late again to this recording. I just want that to be known.
There is no time in Jared's world. Building things.
Can I be honest with y'all? I thought they were all robots at the zoo. I've never seen one in the wilds. So as far as I was concerned, they don't actually exist, but apparently they do. So that blows my mind.
They don't want to be on time. Let's do this.
Oh, make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's on time except for Jake and I. Thank you, Jake. So, let's fucking...
You're welcome, Jared.
Did I just hear David's voice just now?
Yeah.
So he decided to join 10 minutes late, as per usual.
You've never set a time.
What are you talking about?
What?
I 1 o'clock every day. It was part of the chat.
I've been in here waiting for you for an hour, multiple weekends in a row. It's why I started playing Tarkov in the mornings instead.
It's 1
because
o'clock.
I waited for hours.
What are you talking about? It's 1 p.m.
You were literally also just talking to me.
Yeah, and you went on a raid. Yeah, you went on a raid. I was like, oh, David joined a raid at 12:55 in the afternoon.
No, I didn't.
What are you talking about? Is my time dilation all fucked up?
Yes.
What are you talking? Like, I was just in.
That was an hour ago.
That was not an hour ago.
Yes, it was, Jared.
That Jared joined your Discord call?
Yes.
David, I saw no.
Yeah, with you.
I've been up for less than half an hour and I saw him join. Like I
No.
saw just you and Andrew in there. I went down, made coffee, looked, saw Jared in there. So at most, it was 20 minutes ago.
That's definitely not accurate because I did a lighthouse run and a streets run. The streets run went until 10 minutes. It's a 50-minute long raid, so that means 40 minutes alone.
I don't care about your Tarkov time. I'm talking about real time. As in, I looked at a clock and I looked at the thing, and 20 minutes is the maximum amount of time and real human time it could have been.
No, that is a real timer. I spent 40 minutes playing with Sovereign.
Yeah, but Jared wasn't there.
Yeah, I just
He jumped in before that, is what I'm saying, and said nothing about this stupid fucking podcast.
What do you mean? It's 1 o'clock every day. Not every day.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. He made it a set time after there was, all the scheduling stuff that resulted in you waiting for Jared for forever
hours
showing up.
Yeah, because you guys made fun of me that I didn't. Yeah, I have a piece of hair stuck in my mouth. Yeah, you guys.
We gave Jared shit, and then he said an actual time.
And we didn't start on time the last 2 weekends.
What are you talking about?
The military episode, I was gonna join, but at 1 o'clock, I was sitting all by my lonesome again. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna start playing games." And then 20 minutes later, when I had a bunch of people with me, the fucking link went out.
What?
So don't expect me to show up on time when it is not on time.
The monthly military episode. I sent out the link at 1:01 p.m. Like I literally sent. Yeah, I'm looking.
It came to me at 1:25.
Then your Discord's all fucked up, dude.